Need for Speed used to be a great game you would happily get year after year, but in more recent years the franchise has taken a huge downfall. However, there are many ways that they can bring this game back into the spotlight, and today we're going to be discussing a few of these ideas. In my video around a month ago, I talked about the golden age of Need for Speed, and in it I talked about the best games that would have come out of this franchise. What if they went back to old roots? We all know that is what Ghost games are trying to do currently. But what they are doing is focusing on player feedback more other than actually looking at these old games. In this idea, Ghost games would take a look at what made the golden age, look at the reason why these games were so good, do some research on what the fans like most about these games, what they didn't like, and what was improved over time. Take these ideas that Black Box used in making these games and improve upon them, and remaking these ideas in better and newer things, and make their games feel like the older ones. Whilst they are currently trying to do that right now, it feels like they haven't really taken a good look at the golden age, and haven't really realized what really made these games so good. Another idea is taking the same basis of the previous one, but instead of just taking a look at what made these games so great, but actually remastering them, remaking them in the newer forms, in new graphics, in the current engines, to take a look at how these games actually function and why these games were so good. Whilst this idea has a higher chance of not happening, as EA wouldn't be able to find the great way to make microtransactions from these ones, it would be a great thing to do for the franchise. Not only would a lot of the older players would come back to these games due to their love for them, it would show the new fan base how good these games can be. And it's not like remasters have failed in the past. Last year, Crash Bandicoot had the first 3 games completely remastered, and this went amazingly well. Every older fan of the Crash series liked it and loved the remaster. It went that well that, in fact, it went so well that they're not only just making more copies to go on the Switch and also for the Xbox One, they are also remastering more of the original PlayStation titles. Spyro the Dragon is among these, getting its first 3 games completely remastered. Same with a smaller game known as Medieval. Ghost Games taking this idea and remastering some of the best old school Need for Speed games would be one of the best ways to bring Need for Speed back into the light of the gaming community. This would also be such an amazing learning experience for Ghost Games to realize the potential that are sitting behind Need for Speed games if done right. Another idea for them to take is a complete restart. A reboot of the franchise, to say. Back to the starting board, scrap the racing type of thing, the street racing, the police chases. Like, if you think about this carefully, the golden age was started because of a reboot, going from what was a mixture between cops and robbers and racing sim to the street racer that blew up. But another thing they should consider when doing this is actually take a break for a few years on making these games, or take that time to slowly make the next Need for Speed game to actually make it good. Key parts of older games, remake it into something brand new, breathing new life into this franchise. Another thing is to take the time to learn from their past mistakes, and I really do mean take their time. They've got 3 games there, all with their own good points and all with their own bad points, and a lot of player feedback to look at. Again, reusing the idea previously, giving some of the older games a reboot. Maybe giving the older games a reboot would be another idea. It'd be like adding another storyline to already existing games. Because with Need for Speed Most Wanted 2012, it was originally going to be similar to the actual 2005 version of Need for Speed. But one of the biggest things Ghost Games really need to do is to give Need for Speed a fresh look. Fresh coat of paint, to say. To try and give this franchise the kick it needs to be brought back into the limelight of the communities. What Ghost Games also needs to do is to stop trying to remake what the other devs did before Ghost Games. Make Need for Speed their own game. Give us their take on the franchise. Or they could continue the way they are going right now. It might look like a rocky road currently, but they can get past this stage if they listen carefully. Ghost Games now has 3 games underneath their belt, all of them with their hits and misses, and lots of feedback to go with it. As long as they keep listening to the feedback, taking out the stuff that is heavily repeated or nonsense at this point, and make a game based off of all these feedbacks, and instead of trying to remake the older games from other developers, remake their own games. Do a mixture of their first 3. Make a game that would be like Need for Speed Rivals or 2015 or Payback, but just better. Something that can bring Need for Speed fans into the game again. Older people to return. They may just get a hit if they do this. If they keep working on Need for Speed, built on what people liked about their games, and what they didn't like, then eventually they'll actually get a golden one. If they keep trying new things and new ideas, either from the community or from their own minds, they will hit gold. But the problem with the way that they're going, currently, is the fact that if they mess up even more than they have in Payback, or completely ignore the key feedback from Need for Speed Payback and other of their games, it could really kill off the franchise for good. But the problem right now for Need for Speed is the same as Call of Duty's problem. The fan base has had enough of these crap games that have been pumped out over and over again, and they need to be given a reason to care about the next release. There are problems that can be seen with all of these ideas within this video that could cause issues within the fan base. Not everyone will accept what is pumped out, but Ghost Games need to make a game that could bring Need for Speed back into the limelight of the wider gaming community again. Because if they don't, then eventually they're just going to drop the games entirely. Anyway, if you guys have any other ideas or any other ways that they could do this, please go ahead and tell me down in the comments below. I will make sure to read every single comment and respond. And if you have an idea for a topic that I can look in, don't be afraid to say so in the comments down below. But until next time, everybody, Krzear out.